U.S. President Donald Trump is facing more legal problems, this time over classified documents, sensitive government material that he allegedly took with him when he left the White House in 2021. Unprecedented in American history, this case only made more extraordinary by the fact that Trump is also the frontrunner of his party for the Republican presidential nomination next year.
It's election interference at the highest level. There's never been anything like what's happened. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person.
Declaring his innocence on social media, former U.S. President Donald Trump has been indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of retaining classified government documents and obstruction of justice. The criminal case brought by the U.S. Department of Justice amounts to another legal setback for Trump as he seeks to regain the U.S. presidency next year. And today, another big problem. Two of his lawyers quit the case.
How'd you go in there today? Can you tell us who you met with today? Get what you wanted? Did you get a meeting with the attorney? Yeah, we don't have any comment.
The surprise announcement by Trump's lawyers, John Rowley and Jim Trusty, could prompt further legal complications ahead of Trump's scheduled appearance next week. This morning, we tendered our resignations as counsel to President Trump, the two lawyers said in a statement. It has been an honor to have spent the last year defending him, and we know he will be vindicated. Trump said on social media that he has been summoned to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday. He later released this video.
But we're in a position where we're going to make America great again. I'm innocent, and we will prove that very, very soundly and hopefully very quickly. Thank you very much.
Trump faces dozens of felony charges related to his treatment of sensitive government materials he took with him when he left the White House in January 2021.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical for the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced.
Investigators seized roughly 13,000 documents from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, nearly a year ago. 100 were marked as classified, even though one of Trump's lawyers had previously said all records with classified markings had been returned to the government.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
It marks the second time that Trump has been indicted. He is the first former president in U.S. history to face criminal charges. In April, he pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records relating to hush money paid to a porn star before the 2016 election. But still, through the years, Trump has shown an uncanny ability to weather controversies that might torpedo other politicians. He describes himself as the victim of a politically motivated witch hunt and accuses the Justice Department of partisan bias.
They go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far.
Despite all of his legal woes, Trump is the front runner in the race for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Joining us now to talk more about Trump's legal problems is expert on American political culture, Professor Henry Giroux from McMaster University. Professor, do you think there's enough evidence against Trump to eventually have him convicted of these charges related to the classified documents?
I think the evidence is overwhelming, actually, as many lawyers have pointed out who are not only simply supportive of Trump, but basically are somewhat removed from the case. Jack Smith, the special counsel, has just amassed an amazing amount of evidence with respect to the Mar-a-Lago case. I mean, violation of Espionage Act, making false statements, obstructing justice. And if you've read the document, as I read today, that was just released, I mean, 7 counts of indictments, 38 specific charges, provided with photographs, with documentation from interviews, and Trump's own phone calls, where one particular phone call where he actually admits that he can't declassify certain documents, which completely shatters his own case. And of course, other documents have emerged in which it's become clear that he tried to hide this information. But the one I liked the most and found most interesting, if not hilarious, is that many of the boxes at Mar-a-Lago were stored in his basement, was stored on a stage in his Mar-a-Lago residence, was stored in various rooms that people had access to. I think his lawyers quit because I don't think there's really a defense here. And I think they're probably scared because Trump has a long history of not only bullying his lawyers, but in the long run, they all seem to get indicted.
This is the second time now Trump has been indicted. Polls still suggest he is leading the Republican presidential nomination. Can his legal troubles prevent him from running, or do you think it'll hurt the current support he's seeing?
I think, he has a base that is, that's pretty substantial. And as Trump said when he was running for office in 2016, he said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and people would follow me. And I think that's probably true for the base, but I think for independents and others, these indictments are adding up. I think it's going to hurt Trump in the long run, yes. Trump basically, if becomes the Republican nominee and goes to jail, which I don't think will happen, actually, Kelly, before the election, as you know the process. I mean, once he even goes, if it even gets to trial, it'll get to trial. It could be delayed and appealed for years. But yes, he could run for the presidency if he was in an orange suit in some federal jail somewhere in Minnesota. I don't know.
He has taken to social media to declare his innocence, as we have seen him do before. How do you see this next year playing out for Trump? What should we expect?
I think that Donald Trump has a way of suggesting that he is about as sacred as God, and is unwilling to admit anything with respect to any wrongdoings. He has a history of corruption, falsifying information, paying off porn stars. It goes on, and he will just do the same. He'll do two things, actually. He'll lie consistently, saying he's innocent, and then he will use those opportunities that are taking place in the courts to fundraise. I mean, he will basically try to raise as much money in the usual way that he does to screw the people that basically support him in order to turn the indictment into entertainment and to see himself as the ultimate victim.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, Professor.
Okay. It's a pleasure.